Okay, I get that the title is a little spicy, it's a little cringe, but it's the discourse. It's what's for dinner. The lads are talking about it, and as one of the lads, I'm chiming in. So that's just what we're going to do, right? Also, real quick for those interested, here is today's workout. It was pull day, so I did back and biceps, and it went okay. I sort of fell off effort and focus-wise towards the end, but that will happen. You can't stay locked in forever, okay? It's just the truth. All right, so does getting jacked get you girls? What a question. What a fun one. It depends, I think, on who you ask. Some people say no, man. Women don't care about muscles. I have a buddy that gets laid every other day, twice a day, and he's built like Peter Griffin. All you got to do is just be funny and be nice and be normal and have, a beautiful Peter Griffin sounding laugh. And you'll find someone, bro. There's lots of fish. There's plenty of Lois in the sea. Haha. It's a Family Guy reference. Others might also say that no, getting jacked won't help you. But for very different reasons. They might say, no, it's not going to help because having biceps won't fix your suboptimal facial bone structure. It's over for you, bro, and no amount of gym celery will affect your odds. They might cite their 5'2" balding Indian janitor friend that has a girlfriend, but alas, this is just a joke, a cheeky meme, because no such man exists, apparently. Others still might say, yes, actually, getting jacked does help you get women because women do care about muscles. Women love a buff guy. They say, trust me, bro, it works. Mac and Murphy told me that for every quarter inch added to widen my lats and get closer to the supreme Dorito V-taper frame, I'm 1 percentage point more likely to attract a female mate based on science. They've done studies on this. There's studies on this, if you didn't know. With all of these answers, you will have individuals relating based on their own personal experiences, and accordingly placing varying degrees of objective truth to those answers, which is a great thing. It makes perfect sense, and it's definitely a thing that would still happen if we were having these conversations in real life instead of on online echo chambers. So what's the real answer? Well, in my opinion, it's complicated. Simple one-dimensional answers don't cut it, which is boring, I know, but that's usually how stuff works. Algorithms do not want us to think and talk sensibly about stuff, so this video is going to flop, but whatever. Like and comment and watch till the end to fight against misinformation and sensationalism or something. No, I'm just kidding. I just want to get paid. I'll start by acknowledging my biases here, which in case you couldn't tell, are favored towards the meathead variety. I like lifting weights. I think it's good for various reasons that I will get into. One such reason is that, yes, in my experience, being in shape has helped out with my dating life. Be that as it may, though, I also disagree with a lot of what the buff boys have to say about stuff, so let's talk about it. So, statistically speaking, yes, generally in straight dating, women do seem to find a certain amount of muscularity to be an attractive trait on men. There is variance in the size and types of ideal builds, but there are some common general trends pointing to the value in looking somewhat strong. A lot of people might find this consult my study approach to dating kind of weird, and I get that, especially if you're someone that's on the chart supposedly saying something that you don't actually agree with. But I do think it's kind of understandable given the current circumstances. On the whole, men are pretty damn maidenless right now and getting maidenlesser by the second as online dating continues to trend upward in popularity. So breaking it down into the science for the best odds of not having repeated failures and 10,000 right swipes with no matches, I think it makes sense, Again, if you're not in that position, it probably sounds and feels weird, which I get. But if we're going to have empathy for the people in that position, I feel like that response tracks in my MO. Now, men do tend to overestimate what the ideal amount of muscularity for attractiveness actually looks like. Jeff Nippard, who's a fitness YouTuber, he did a good video recently kind of showing how this happens. Among the group that he polled, women rated the ideal build as somewhere around here, while men rated it as way up here.
1 is the least muscular, and 5 is the most muscular, with 4 being around the upper limit of what's achievable naturally. These results were pretty wild. The most attractive physique was level 3. Over 41% of women said they found level 3 the most attractive. Only 10% of women found level 5 most attractive. In fact, more women preferred the second level of muscularity than the 5th level of muscularity, and that's coming from my audience. Women presumably already more into the gym and possibly biased toward a more muscular look. But here's the incredible part. Next, I asked men which level of muscularity they wanted for themselves. What was their goal level of muscle? I want you to notice how different it is from what women said they found the most attractive. Most men said they wanted a level 4 muscularity, but level 5 wasn't far behind at 33%. 1/3 of men said they wanted the highest level of muscularity. I think this is worth highlighting. Only 10% of women said they found level 5 most attractive, while 33% of men are chasing this physique. That's a big gap.
It's that whole stereotype of dudes that lift weights thinking they're going to get girls, but they only get compliments from men. And while I'm not a huge fan of that narrative, I feel like some dudes just want to get jacked because they like it and think it's cool. And assuming every man must be doing something for sexual gratification is kind of dismissive and reinforces bad ideas. But generally speaking, there's some truth to that. Also, social media is making the effect stronger because most of the popular content is made by people that look like this and this, because algorithms like extremes. I'm not going to click on a skinny fat guy bench pressing. I'm going to click on Sam Sulek. I'm sorry. That's just how my brain, that's how all of our brains work. Come on, be honest. And so this constant exposure is warping male body image further into the male gaze, as media always sort of has. But now instead of just 2 hours of seeing Hugh Jackman jacked man at the cinema, it's for 12 hours a day every day of your life. But that's a whole topic for another video. Okay, obviously there are outliers. You got your Timmy C builds, your dad bod builds, your skater boy builds, your Pete D's, your bear boys, and so on. This video will likely have dozens, potentially hundreds, ideally thousands of comments about how they don't find muscles attractive and prefer other body types. Not only are there outliers, but the hyper-focus on the importance of muscularity in dating can, I think, trend towards being echo chamber-y. We all know at least one man that isn't ripped that's in a happy relationship, and of course we do, because lots of people are in relationships and very few of the people in them are ripped. But that's the thing, right, is that the guys in question here, the ones mulling over this narrative, they aren't in relationships. And not only that, but their fear is that unless they max out on every trait they can, including muscles, then they never will be. And for someone that wants to be in one, it feels like a dire situation, right? It's kind of like a scarcity mindset. And so I know a guy, as true as that is, it doesn't seem to cut it anymore. It's just, again, kind of dismissive. Or at least I can imagine why it would come off that way to a man that hears that after repeated failure. So back to the question in the title, does getting jacked get you girls? No, it doesn't. But I don't think it can hurt. And I want to talk about some of the reasons why. If you're struggling with dating as a man, these might help you. And if you're not in that boat, you may still learn something about what's going on with the boys here. I don't know. This video is sponsored by FlexiSpot and the FlexiSpot C7. What is this shit? And the FlexiSpot C7 ergonomic chair. Are you ever sitting in an office chair working on your computer and then think, oh man, I gotta lock the fuck in? Well, good news, you can lock in by leaning forward. Now we're locked in. We're leaning in. We're playing Smash Bros like Hillary Clinton, brother. And then when you're done locking in, you might wanna lock out. Clock out, as it were. That's a reference to working by going like this, and then by going like this. Oh, is this not relaxed enough for you? Are you having trouble relaxing in this beautiful position? Well, good news. You can fully do this, and then it's like being in a movie theater that has $22 tickets. It's gorgeous. If that looks too relaxed for you, don't worry, there's in-between adjustments as well, like this, and then like this. Also, real quick, that desk you see, that's the E7 Pro desk from FlexiSpot. They sent it to me, and I love it. 440-pound weight capacity and 15 years warranty. And then when you want to go home, you simply go like this, and then you go like this, and then you go like that, and then you go like this, and you go like this, and you go home. Hopefully. Last thing that I want to show you that I think is really cool is the lumbar support. As you can see, it's juicy. It's also adjustable, so it's locked in right now. You can unlock it though, and it'll move to your every whim. Oh yeah, wait, you can do this too. I forgot. I had it way too extended. That's probably where I'll have it. Have I been mewing hard enough? The chair supports up to 300 pounds. It has a mesh design, which is really supportive, but also breathable and comfortable for long periods of sitting. Statistically speaking, 1 in every 2 League of Legends players needs to be airing out that ass, which is why they need to check out FlexiSpot's chair. If you don't like it, you can return it for free within 30 days. It also has a 10-year warranty, so get a load of that. Thanks again to FlexiSpot for being the first Noah Time sponsor. Really excited about it, and I'll see you back at the video. This might sound like gym bro propaganda, and it kind of is, but also much of it applies to other stuff. Just fitness in general, or any other form of exercise or activity that you enjoy and that you're able to participate in. I know a lot of you do a lot of different stuff. So on this channel, if I ever talk about how you should go to the gym, you are invited to use that phrase as a placeholder for whatever other physical activity you enjoy doing, because most of the principles apply. But okay. So why will gym help? Well, firstly, you'll just be happier. For most people, exercise has that effect. Endorphins get released and your brain goes, thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am, thank you for what you've just did to me. I love you. They got studies on that crap, but anecdotally, this practice of going to the gym has brought me out of the depths of some of the worst depressions of my life. And being brutally depressed isn't, an awesome time to start trying to get laid. And being happy usually means that you're like just kind of more fun to be around. I don't know, happiness, spreading love, all that stuff. Secondly, if you start lifting and you keep it going, you'll probably start feeling more confident in a few different ways. The first one is just basic. It's how your body looks and how it feels. On a base level, it feels good to be able to use your body to pick shit up and to do things. Your friend is moving flats or something. You show up, you pick stuff up, you help them using your physical strength. That's a cool thing. That's a fun thing. But with dating, I think the bigger focus is how it looks, right? Going out in an outfit that suits your new build, filling out a t-shirt, not having to do the uncomfortable belly cover adjust thing with said t-shirt, which is, that's a real thing that I felt. It's simple stuff like that. Look good, feel good, as they say. Is it true? I don't know. It feels true for me. Another form of confidence is kind of more general. It's in yourself and your abilities, which is just having one consistent hobby that you can either look forward to, or that you have going for you. I think that's better than having none. I feel like that's a basic thing in the world when things are very alienating and we're inundated by so many forces. Having control over one thing, learning things, putting in effort, and reaping your own rewards. It's very it's very Marxist, one could argue. Maybe I'll do a video about that. My friend Kent planted that seed in my mind, and I think it's there's a lot of truth to that. Thanks, Kent. The last form of confidence is more meat-headed of me, but it's confidence to just pick shit up, to move shit around. Not in a I'm going to use this Moscow Mule as a grip strength forearm workout and kill everybody in this bar with glass shrapnel, but more so, my friend's moving apartments. I can pick stuff up for them and it'll be fine. I got a strong back. They could hire movers, or they could hire me, and then we could hang out, and then they just could buy me a pizza afterwards or something. Instead of paying movers like $350, whatever they charge these days. Oh, this fancy restaurant has a big oak door for some reason. No problem. Let's crank this sucker open. Let's go get some pasta, lady. If you look like you can pick someone up, a girl on a date might ask you to pick her up, and then you pick her up, and yay, that's a fun exchange, okay? There's a line, though, toeing the line there of cringe if you offer for no reason. That's weird. It is that thing of I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Usually that applies to fighting and guns, but for more lighthearted stuff and just being able to help people, that's good. I also think there's a positive benefit for men going to the gym, which is that they developing a healthy sense of identity, setting measurable goals, working towards them, tracking your progress, and having other people kind of come along with you on the journey, especially if they're doing it as well. The other day I shared that I hit a PR on bench press. I benched 245. I was really excited about it. I felt great and I was proud, and because I worked hard to get there, and I was very encouraged by other people who reached out and said, hey, good job, man, that's really cool. Lifters and people generally, and that's fun. I don't know. It's good positive reinforcement. There's a toxic side of the identity where people are like, oh, if you can't bench 2 plates, you're cringe and you're a little baby. Once you can bench 2 plates, you're a man. And then if you bench more than 2 plates or more than me, then I'm no longer a man. You're a man and I'm just a boy. And that's all pretty lame. Usually it's just a joke, but sometimes it's not, and that's lame. One way to attempt to denigrate someone's masculinity is to call them weak. And that mentality, I don't see it all that much, but it exists, obviously. It's just, you don't really see it. Online gym culture, generally speaking, the mainstream stuff at least, is usually pretty critical of that sort of toxic mentality. Most people are just trying to improve and trying to learn and trying to teach each other and things like that. With that said, though, I don't think there's anything toxic about saying, oh, I could bench 2 plates, that's sick. It's kind of in the gym community known as a benchmark of strength. Not even a benchmark of strength, just it's a thing. It's oh, I put 1 plate, I put 2 plates on. It's a really simple lift that's I don't know what I'm saying. If you lift, you know what I'm saying. If you don't, I would best explain it as a form of identity that can be cool and good and doesn't have to be toxic, which is good because I feel like for boys, that's somewhat rare. So stuff like that is good. Last point, and I know I'm kind of dragging this on, but this one's kind of brief, is that, gym going can be social. It's not for a lot of people. I think a lot of people it's a solo endeavor, but it doesn't have to be. And as it's seemingly becoming much more popular going to the gym, I think more friends are doing it, and I've started lifting with friends, and that's been awesome. And I think you can meet new people at gyms, which is another thing that's rarer, but that I think we could probably start encouraging among people, especially young men. And how does that relate to dating? Well, you're being social. And you don't have to date the boy. You can meet and hang out outside of lifting, and then you meet the boy's friend, who's a girl, and you get along. Or you meet the boy's sister, who's you like, and then you're one big happy family. Congratulations. So there's one caveat that I think there's a big difference between getting girls versus being able to maintain a healthy long-term relationship. I would argue that the maintenance element is vastly more important of a thing. However, I think for a lot of guys, it can be hard to kind of understand why that's the case, or have context to why that's important, because they're unable to start a relationship in the first place. Which again, it makes sense, right? At that point, being able to maintain a relationship is just hypothetical. It's just a theory in the air, because you haven't reached step one yet of starting one. And that's the case for many men, alienation, lack of third spaces, lack of male friendships and community, and the end result of that being that you end up on dating apps where the male-female ratios are heinous, and then you spend money there and you get depressed, and then who knows what happens at that point. Then you get up to no good over on the forums, and we don't want that. With that said, though, I do think that the type of person that is able to maintain a consistent dedication to the gym may also be more prone to maintaining a consistent dedication to other forms of self-improvement, which may take the form of, fostering emotional intelligence, doing therapy, reading stuff about relationships, and just putting effort into a relationship and to listening and providing the emotional support that is ideal for a partner to provide, because that takes dedication in the same way that, lifting consistently takes dedication. And also, as far as relationship maintenance goes, one thing that seems kind of taboo to talk about, or at least I don't really see it talked about often, but it's definitely a thing for a lot of people, is that relationships can have trouble if physical attraction is lost. If you're not attracted to your partner anymore, or they're not attracted to you, which sounds kind of shitty. It sounds shallow, like, oh, I love this person for who they are, not how they look. But also, that's a thing that happens, and it's a thing that, like, in terms of long-term relationship success predictions, it's a big thing. And so I feel like being, in shape and then maybe getting out of shape is one way that can happen. Or on the inverse, one way that you can prevent it is just by maintaining a general sense of, like, I don't know, I guess, like, standards of physical fitness. Again, I'm speaking very generally, because if something like this hasn't happened to you, I'm not here to try and scare you or something. Everyone's different. A lot of people are attracted to people in different ways. All I'm saying is this is something that happens, and that maybe going to the gym is something that can help. The other caveat is to address the reasons why, when I say, it won't get you girls, but it can help, why I say that it won't. Because it on its own, it won't. Obviously, that should kind of be clear. Barring the exception of dating a girl who really likes going to the gym and is, like, really into it, it won't make you more interesting of a person. As a gym head myself, and just knowing how gym heads work, there's a tendency for us to, because we care a lot about it, want to kind of like spread the propaganda, the good word of why it's so sick and awesome and why everyone should do it. And I've literally done that in this video, I know, and I recognize that, and I'm sorry, but it's just part of the mentality that ideally we try and stamp out and not try and force our, views or beliefs on others. Right now I'm just really jazzed about it, so I'm just, speaking my mind. But if you're trying to date and the person's, not into that, that's annoying to try and convert people, or to try and just be the guy that's the only thing you can talk about. That's usually only if there's kind of an obsessive, unhealthy relationship with the gym, which can happen, but I think a lot of times doesn't happen. Like, you get fit, and then some lady finally swipes right on you, and eventually a first date gets proposed, and then she wants to go to her favorite restaurant, but the macros on the lasagna are bad, so you got to decline. That's cringe. Same with making it your entire personality. Again, do you, but generally speaking, I feel like that's not that hot. I don't know, that's just me. The second reason it won't help you get girls is that it won't make you take better hinge photos or do the things that, these circumstances require of you to find success. Aesthetics and style and presentation are the foremost elements of these cursed apps, especially as a man, where the competition is far greater. And a lot more goes into these things than just how your body is shaped with muscles. And it might actually bait you into messing this up and taking worse photos, like scary, shirtless, sweaty meathead ones, where you're in a YMCA locker room and there's a child and a nude old man in the background, but you didn't notice because you were too excited about your little peck pump or whatever. That's scaring the maidens, case in point. And that's totally a thing. You see screenshots of that posted all the time. It's kind of like the fisherman's meme, where it's a guy holding a fish. And since Tinder was first started, people have made fun of that, which I think is, I don't know, it's like, okay, I get it, it's funny, but then I'm like, it's kind of cringe, because the guy likes fishing, whatever. Who cares? Just swipe left. I don't know. That's just me being a defensive guy. I get it. I get it. And then I think back to the kind of healthy relationship with it. If it becomes unhealthy, you can become kind of vain and self-obsessed. And I think people can pick up on that. If you give off the vibe that you're someone that's like really obsessed with themselves and their self-care to the point where you become just like fatphobic, or just like, you think you are a better person than the people around you that don't lift, which that is totally a thing. That sucks. And that is something that will make you less hot, or it'll make you attract someone that's like that too. And that sucks. It's like, yeah, you can get a date with someone that's evil, just like you. Muscle-induced narcissism is cringe and preventable, so I'm here to say, don't do that shit, okay? So anyways, just to conclude, like I was saying, I think it can help. I think lifting can help with dating if you're a guy. Those are my reasons why. But this is also a very small thing to focus on, because there's so much more to people and relationships than how you look. And even though online dating culture is so alienating to the point that you might believe that there isn't, that looks are everything, that's not real life, That's just where we spend all our time. And unfortunately, it warps our brains into things that over the long term, over the course of your life, probably aren't healthy to obsess over. But again, as shitty as it sounds and feels, if you want to find success in these contexts, you kind of just have to play the game. And we can work towards a world where social interaction and community are prioritized. But there's going to be an intermediary space, probably at least 30 to 50 years, where we got to work with what we got in this hellscape. And if you want to find a date, well, try getting in the gym. I don't know. The biggest thing though is if your one goal is to get girls, and that's your reasoning for pursuing the gym, I wish you the best. Try to be normal about it, but just, I guess, know that kind of is a recipe for failure, that mentality, because seeing progress in the gym takes time, which means that other people seeing your progress, as in you getting hotter and them thinking, yeah, you're hotter and wanting to talk to you more, that also takes time. It's not going to happen automatically. And it's hard enough as it is to make going to the gym a habit. And if your adherence to that habit hinges on your ability to get a date, which is a goal that's, far away because it takes time, that's just going to make things harder. But maybe along the way you discover that there's a lot of other stuff about going to the gym that you enjoy and that helps you. Mental health, goal setting, strength, progress, confidence, and so on and so forth. So just keep an eye out for those, I guess, if you're going hard mode. Try and see what's going on. Okay, that's it for Noah time. Hope you've enjoyed, and let me know what you thought, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.